am Swati, standing in front of you all to explain you the topic round robin scheduling. Particularly, I will be explaining you one question here so that it might be helpful for all of you. So as we know that in round robin scheduling it is purely primitive, just like FCFS it was purely non-primitive. Round robin scheduling is purely primitive scheduling. So round robin scheduling is based on mainly two terms, which is time quantum and arrival time. So we will solve this question based on the time quantum, as we know that the given time quantum of this question is 2. So by seeing the arrival time, we see that the process P1 has the lowest arrival time, so it will come in the ready queue very first. So we will write here P1. And as we see that the PT of this process is greater than the time quantum, so for this P1 scheduling, we will schedule the process for its time quantum. So P1 will be scheduled for the time 0 to 2, and here its time quantum PT will decrease by 2 and it will be 3. And we will see that at point 2, two processes are there in the ready queue, that is P2 and P3. So we will write here P2 and P3. Since we are seeing that the process P1 is not completely scheduled, so it will again go in the ready queue P1. Here it comes the P1 is scheduled from 0 to 2. Now it's time for P2. When we see the P2, its time quantum is also greater than BT is also greater than time quantum, so it will be also scheduled for 2 units of time. P2 2 to 4 is scheduled. And at time 4, we are seeing that all the processes are there in the ready queue. So P3, P4 and P5 will also come in the ready queue, and since P2 is not completely scheduled, again it will come in the ready queue. Now it's time for P3. Here in P3 we are seeing that BT is less than the time quantum. Now so it will be completely scheduled here, and P3 will be scheduled for its BT, which is 1 unit time and 4 to 1 5, and P3 is completely scheduled here. Now it's time for P1. We are seeing that BT is greater for the process P1. BT is greater than the time quantum, so it will also schedule for the 2 unit of time, and P1 is 7. And P1 is not scheduled completely, so it will again come in the ready queue. Now it's time for P4. P4 time quantum equals to BT. Now it will be scheduled for its BT completely. It will be scheduled. Now it's time for P5. Time BT is greater than the time quantum. It will be scheduled for the 2 units of time. And P5 is not scheduled completely, so again it will come in the ready queue. Now it's time for P2. P2 we are seeing that BT is less than the time quantum, so it will be completely scheduled for 1 unit of time. Now it's time for P1. P1 is BT is less than the time quantum. It will be completely scheduled for the 1 unit of time. And now the last process is P5, and we are saying its BT is less than the time quantum, so it will be scheduled for 1 unit of time, that is 40. So we are saying that we have calculated the ready queue and the Gantt chart. On the basis of Gantt chart, we will be calculating its completion time. For the process P1, we are saying that it is completing on the time 13, so its completion time will be 13. For the process P2, we are saying that its completion time is 4, so we will write here 4. Sorry. For the process P3, we are saying that its completion time is 5. For P4, we are saying its completion time is 9. And the last one's completion time is 40. So here all about the round robin scheduling, and on the basis we are able to calculate that TET and WT also. The formula of TAT is CT minus AT, and formula of WT is TAP minus BT. So this is all from my side. I hope this might be clear to all.